Hey guys, today I'm going to go over your sponsor booklet and what you should be doing with your sponsor as you get closer to your confirmation date. Each one of you guys should have gotten one of these books, and this will have everything that you need in order to have the conversations with your sponsor. Please make sure to give this booklet to your sponsor, and you can share this video with them so they have a good understanding of what it's going to look like as you prepare for confirmation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just give you a little outline of this booklet and just talk about some of the most important things that you need to know as you meet with your sponsor. So let's get right into the booklet. All right, so the first part of the booklet goes over what is confirmation, what is a sponsor, and how can I help my candidate prepare for the sacrament. I highly encourage all these sponsors to look over these 3 chapters, as they will give you a lot of information on what your role is and how you can best prepare your candidate for confirmation. Then the second part of the booklet has 4 conversations that you'll have with your candidate. 3 of these conversations will happen before confirmation, and 1 of them will happen after confirmation. Now, the way that these are laid out is that at the beginning, it'll kind of give a sponsor's reflection. Then it'll give you some discussion questions that kind of guide the conversation with your candidate. Conversation 1 is called The Way. On this conversation, you guys will be reflecting on the question, what do you want out of life? You'll discuss the thoughts on life and God and why they picked the confirmation saint that they picked. The second conversation will be about the truth, found on page 35. In this conversation, you will talk about death and eternity, the sacrament of confession, and vocation, and how we can listen to God's call in our life. The third conversation is about the life. In this conversation, you'll check in with your candidate and think of some kind of service project that the candidate can do. Now, you guys can choose to do a service project together, or you guys can choose to do something similar separately and check in about it later. Now, you'll also have a conversation here about how do we live as Christians once we've been confirmed. Lastly, the 4th conversation will actually happen after confirmation. Now, this one's really important because a lot of times kids get confirmed and then maybe that's their last experience of church. Hopefully, you as a sponsor can encourage them to continue their journey of faith, encourage them to participate in the sacraments. This conversation is kind of a follow-up. Ask them how they're growing in their faith and what they want to learn more about. Once the student has had a conversation with their sponsor, they can go onto the St. Odelia website under confirmation and make sure to fill out a Google form showing that they've finished that conversation. This will be the way that we check that the student has completed the conversation with their sponsors. So candidates, please make sure to fill out your Google form after you've had one of those conversations with your sponsor. The last part of the booklet goes over top 10 Catholic questions. Feel free to look through some of these questions and answer them with your candidate, as they might have some of these questions themselves. The last part of this sponsor guide has some additional resources. These include Catholic prayers and different gift ideas or reading material that your candidate can go through. So that is the basic outline of the sponsor booklet. Sponsors, thank you so much for being sponsors. Thank you for supporting this candidate as they prepare for confirmation and as they are preparing to be fully initiated into the church. If either the sponsor or the candidate has any questions about these 4 conversations, please feel free to email me or give me a call. Lastly, we also want to make sure that every candidate gets their baptismal records into St. Odelia. You can do this really easily by contacting the church in which the candidate was baptized and ask them to send a baptismal record over to St. Odelia Parish. They'll send us that information and then we'll have it. You can also send us a copy of the baptismal record. You can either drop it off in the office or you can mail it to us and just put attention Gazella Miko. Please note that the baptismal record should be a newly issued baptismal record. This means that you can't send in an old copy that you have, but rather it must be within the last 6 months before confirmation. To do this, you can contact the parish in which your child was baptized and have them send it over to St. Odelia. Or you can have the copy for yourself and you can mail it to us, you can email it to us, or you can upload it on our website under the confirmation tab. If you need any assistance with this process, please feel free to contact myself or Linda Dewar.